Other members, I see we are just short of the requisite quorum, and I therefore order the bell to be rung for 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
There is no quorum, and the Deputy Speaker has ordered the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. That is courtesy of the standing orders. The number required for business to commence is 50. Until that number is achieved, then there is no business. So respective leadership in the House are currently whipping the members, at least not literally, to come into the chambers so that the business can commence. And this is going to be the second day that the National Assembly will be discussing the President's speech. Among those things that the President did talk about was the role that Parliament ought to play. The President did say that, or reminded the members that the promises they made to the electorate were turned into a solemn oath in which they swore to bear true faith and allegiance to the people and the Republic of Kenya, and that they would obey, respect, uphold, preserve, and protect this Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, and that they would faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of a member of Parliament. The President said that in the coming days, the members of Parliament will be called upon to be true to that oath. Quorum has been achieved, and right now I will hand you over so that you can follow these proceedings, which have been brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in conjunction with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
Other members, we now have the quorum, and therefore business will start.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Honorable Majority Whip, you have papers to lay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of Majority Leader, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, September 14th, 2017. 1, the quarterly economic budgetary review for the fourth quarter of the financial year 2016-2017 from the National Treasury. 2, the county government's budget implementation review report for the first 9 months of the financial year 2016-2017 from the Office of the Controller of Budget. 3, the national government budget implementation review report for the third quarter of the financial year 2016-2017 from the Office of the Controller of Budget pursuant to Article 228(6) of the Constitution. 4, a report of the Auditor General and financial statements in respect of the following institutions for the year ended 30th June 2016 and the certificates therein. 1, Kenya Utalii College, and 2, Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology Education in Africa. 5, annual reports and financial statements in respect of the following institutions for the year ended 30th June 2016. A, Kenya Nuclear Electricity Board. B, the Jomo Kenyatta Foundation. C, the Commission on Administrative Justice. D, Agricultural Finance Corporation. And E, Kenya Airports Authority. 6, annual corporate report of the Office of the Auditor General for the period 2012 to 2016. 7, annual report and financial statements of the Kenya Tourism Board for the year ended 30th June 2015. 8, report of the Institute of Economic Affairs on policy debate on 5 socio-economic issues in Kenya elections 2017. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Order number 6, notices of motion. 7, statements. Order number 8, motion, debate on the presidential address, the second day.
Members, okay, I know many of you want to contribute. The only thing is that you will have to be patient. We have quite a lot of time, and many members will speak this morning. For the new members, it's also important that you be notified that if you contributed yesterday, or if you have contributed at all to this presidential debate, you will not have another shot. That is just for the members who might be new. Now, obviously, I'll be giving 2 members from this side and 1 from this other side because of the numbers that are this other side. And let me start with the honorable member, very close to, yes, yourself, the member in the spectacles. You could use the dispatch box. You'll also have to introduce yourself. Proceed. I think it's
okay. Kwa jina ni Simon Ng'ang'a King'ara kutoka eneo bunge la Ruiru. Eneo bunge la Ruiru ni kati ya maeneo bunge ya Kiambu na ni moja ya mabunge makubwa sana katika eneo letu la Kenya, ikiwa na idadi ya watu 160,000. Na langu ni kushukuru mwenyekiti Speaker kwa sababu ya kuchaguliwa na watu wa Ruiru kwa kura nyingi zaidi katika Kenya yetu kama eneo bunge, zikiwa ni kura zaidi ya 108,000. Ni shukrani kubwa sana kwa watu wa Ruiru kwa kunipatia fursa hiyo ya kuweza kuwakilisha katika Kenya yetu tupendaye. Sitasahau kurudisha shukrani kwa Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kutupatia ujasiri wa kuchagua Spika Muturi na Spika mwenza. Wewe uko katika kiti hapo. Watu wamekuwa na sisi muhula uliopita na tukaona ujasiri wao na vile vile wakaweza kuchaguliwa. Nikiguzia kuhusu sisi wana bunge, ni shukurani kwa wananchi wa Kenya kwa kutupatia mwanya wa kuja kuwakilisha, na ni shukurani kuu kwa wabunge wote na kwa kuchaguliwa katika maeneo yao. Hiyo ni kuonyesha wima wa Wakenya na vile vile sisi wanabunge wale wamechaguliwa. Nikiguzia kidogo kuhusu hotuba ya Rais tumpenda Uhuru Kenyatta, alianza na jambo la busara sana. Wakati alichukua kipasa sauti, mneno wake wa kwanza ni kuhimiza wabunge kujua walichaguliwa kuhudumia Wakenya, na hilo ni jambo la uzito zaidi. Na vile vile hakusahau kutuambia au kuambia Wakenya macho yote yameangalia viongozi wale wamechaguliwa kuleta amani na uwiano katika Kenya yetu tupendaye. Hilo ni jambo la uzito, kwa vile ukiangalia maeneo mengi katika Afrika yetu juu ya uongozi, usalama na maendeleo imezorota. Lakini ukiangalia Kenya, juu yake kiongozi wetu tupendaye Uhuru Kenyatta ameiga mwigo mwema, na ikawa kama kitabu cha kusoma wakati tunaendeleza maendeleo yetu ya Kenya. La muhimu, alisema hata kama kuna furugu na joto kali ya kisiasa, atasimama kidete kuona sisi viongozi tumetimiza majukumu yetu bila wasiwasi wowote ule. Na kama kiongozi wetu amesema hakuna wasiwasi, sisi ni akina nani tukawa na wasiwasi? Hakuna haja ya kuwa na wasiwasi kama kiongozi wetu yeye peke yake hana wasiwasi. Sisi tuko wengi, yeye ako peke yake na amesimama na uzito wa kuonyesha Kenya itakuwa na amani hata kama vipande vingine vimekaa vile wamekaa. La muhimu ni kuhimiza wale wote tulichaguliwa, tafadhali kujeni bungeni tutimize yale tulichaguliwa sababu yake. Ni aibu kidogo Bwana Spika, wakati mtu alichaguliwa anakuja pale, anajaza karatasi, anaweka sahihi na anatoka nje. Na anangojea malipo kutoka kwa yule Wanjiku. Atakuwa amekosea Wanjiku na amejikosea mwenyewe kama Mkenya. Hilo ni jambo ningeomba, vile hakuna mtoto katika bunge hii, tutumie utu wetu ule tumepewa na Mwenyezi Mungu, na tukakuja tukasimama tukaonyesha sisi ndio kielelezo chema cha maendeleo na haki katika Kenya yetu tupendaye. Hayo yote hayatatimika kama hatutafanya hayo kwa matendo, lakini si kwa mafikira peke yake. Mengi yamesemwa katika maendeleo yetu, na mimi najua Ruiru tuko na shida mingi sana. Wana Ruiru mnajua hivyo. Nimesimama hapa nikiwakilisha na kuhakikishia kwa sababu ya uongozi mwema wa Uhuru Kenyatta, yale yote mnafikiria tunatakiwa kutenda, kusema kweli tutayatenda. Na nikitamatisha, ninaomba wale tuko hapa tuendelee kujuana ndio tukaweza kufanya kazi kama ndugu na dada. Asanteni.
Very well, member for Imenti North. Look at,
Thank you.
There now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. First of all, let me congratulate you on being elected the Deputy Speaker. And you know, one vote was mine as well, even though we didn't go to vote. Mr. Speaker.
Now, you see, Honorable Member for Imenti North, you are not making your maiden speech, so I can actually, but proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to congratulate all the members who are here, elected and nominated, because I believe they are here for a purpose. And thank the President, our President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, for his speech the other day. And he made a speech which was very inclusive. It was devoid of any politics and gerrymandering, although we do not agree with what was said by the ruling by the Supreme Court, but we took it in our stride and we agreed that we go to the elections. And Mr. Speaker, we should understand, and I think the opposition needs to understand this point, that this country cannot afford the economic turmoil, because as soon as the Supreme Court announced that the decision they made, the stock markets lost about 130 to 140 billion, was wiped off. And you can imagine, Mr. Speaker, if this is the way we are going to be going, and we are not agreeing, although the IEBC has announced the election date for the 17th of October, and our colleagues in the opposition do not want to go to elections, I do not know how they want this country to suffer, because the economy will go into the doldrums, and we won't be able to even make anything out of it. So it shows that they are not really interested in this country at all, because if they were, they would understand the economic impact of these elections. Mr. Speaker, the President as well mentioned that this is the only, I think Jubilee is the only party which has got the most young people, the most elected young people, like even my county, Meru County, is one amongst equals, because the first time in the 11th Parliament, we had the youngest parliamentarian, Mheshimiwa Gatobu. This time, we have got the youngest parliamentarian from Meru again, Honorable John Paul Mwirigi. And I think it goes a long way to show that in the Jubilee-leaning counties, we produce the best young people. As well as we take care of our women as well. We've got two women governors. We've got, I think it is 3 women senators. And we are ready to tackle the 2/3 gender principle. I request my fellow members of parliament that this time round, if it comes up, the gender bill, because last time we had many women MPs, and most of them, more than half, did not turn up for the last day of voting. At this time, I request them to make sure if we do come up with a gender bill, which hopefully the majority leader will come up with, we pass it so that we have a progressive parliament where we can have women representing the interests. So over 20 years, then we do not need that bill. Mr. Speaker, I go forward and say congratulations to the President and the whole country in that when the announcement was made through the Supreme Court, we did not have violence from our areas, unlike what has happened yesterday. And I want to condemn completely the incident which happened in Kisumu, where women were meeting, and that incident, the youths went and disrupted it in the name of saying that the women were selling their votes or IDs. I believe that those kind of retrogressive things should be left behind. We should let people articulate. They can go anywhere they want, but there was nothing like that. So I think even if the opposition MPs would condemn that kind of incidents, because we do not want a repeat of what happened in 2007, 2008, because we've had enough of that. With those few remarks, I say thank you, and I thank the people of Nordimenti for electing me again. Thank you,
Member
and God
for
bless.
Gilgil. Member for Gilgil. You have it? You have it there?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honor and a privilege to actually serve in this bicameral parliament, to serve in both chambers, in the 11th parliament as a nominated senator, and in the 12th parliament as a member of Gilgil. I want to take this chance to thank the people of Gilgil for voting for me overwhelmingly, with 80% to be their MP, and also thank God for this auspicious opportunity to serve the people of Gilgil and the people of Kenya. I want to also take the chance to congratulate my colleagues from all over the country who have been elected to this august house. I also take this chance to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, for being elected unopposed as our Deputy Speaker. As a member from Nakuru County, we are very proud of you, and we are looking forward to a very vibrant house under your leadership. I also congratulate the Speaker, Honorable Justin Muturi, for being voted overwhelmingly again as our Speaker. In fact, when my son was watching that vote, when I got home, he was just telling me, you know, Mom, there was something on TV, and they were like just Muturi, Muturi, Muturi. It was like a song, and I found him singing. It was very interesting. Mr. Speaker, I want to go directly to the speech of the President and congratulate him for being also voted overwhelmingly on August 8th as our President. And there's no doubt about it. Even in Gilgil, we gave him overwhelmingly support. We voted votes, over 60,000 votes, and we are ready even for another election. Mr. Speaker, I will pick a few things that were touched on by the President. One is the sovereignty of the people. The Article 1 of the Constitution is very clear, and this must go even to the opposition MPs, that the responsibility, the mandate, the power they back. I think we have sent the message very clearly that we are here to serve the people of Kenya, and we will not entertain. And I can tell the people of Kisumu and other areas that are represented by NASA, we will still represent them because we are the National Assembly. We will represent them. But it's unfortunate that the members that they voted for are letting them down and are actually earning a salary that they are not working for. Mr. Speaker, as the member from Meru has stated, yesterday there was a very sad situation in Kisumu. Some hooligans just walked in on women who were having a meeting in a hotel, started to beat them, actually humiliated them, took their phones. Women the age of our mothers were crying when they are being harassed by the ages of their sons. It is unfortunate. I'm looking forward to the women who have been elected in those areas to condemn and stand with those mothers, because it was not necessary just because of one person. This Kenya is greater than any one of us, and we must condemn it with the strongest words possible. And Mr. Speaker, even to the media, I hope, because I saw yesterday when it was reported that IDs were being bought, and that photo was put, and that photo was not indicated even as a file photo in a tweet. It was very unfortunate. Let the media also be very careful on what they post so that we do not cause chaos and acrimony in this country. Mr. Speaker, the President was very categorical on the support of women. This time, even in the 23 members who we have been elected in the National Assembly to represent constituencies, 18 are from Jubilee. 18, that is more than 80%. Jubilee and its affiliates. Mr. Speaker, you look at the women reps, most are from Jubilee areas. We are very happy, and I think this parliament will be very vibrant with youth representation, with all the diversity. We are looking forward to giving a very good face to this country, a very good parliament, a very progressive and vibrant 12th parliament. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Hancock. Did you speak, Honorable Sankok, yesterday? Have you spoken to the presidential address? Okay, but even as you do that, Honorable Sankok, you don't have to point at the speaker menacingly. Now, proceed.
Thank you very much,
because
Mr. Speaker, sir.
I take your word, Honorable Sankok. So
yes, thank you very much.
Once you say you didn't speak, I know it's possible, but we proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Did he speak?
And it seems I'm very popular. That is why people are complaining. I'm David Ole Sankok from Narok.
Maybe just to clarify for members, Honorable Dr. Sankok spoke to the House business debate, not this one. So he has actually done away with his maiden speech. So he's now making his regular speech. Proceed.
I hope you have not eaten into my time. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Let me take this opportunity again to congratulate you, especially for having been elected and opposed. We know even there's possibilities of the President Uhuru Kenyatta being elected and opposed on 17th October. I also like to thank Jubilee Party for giving me this opportunity to represent persons with disability as a nominated MP. I also thank the 6 million Kenyans with disabilities, whom have been their chairman for a period of 3 years before I retired voluntarily last year. I also like to thank the 11th Parliament for having been the first Parliament to implement devolution. It was not an easy task, and for those members who are there, we say thank you very much and we congratulate them, especially our majority leader, Aden Duale, and the rest of the leadership of the House, even the minority. On the President's speech, Mr. Speaker, sir, I can only compare that speech to the speech of Martin Luther King. It is a speech of a president who is humble, committed, devoted, God-fearing, genuine, honest, intelligent, loyal to his people, obedient, and a president who preach and practice peace. He's a president who leads a party whose slogan is Tuko Pamoja. If we translate it into our mother tongues, in Kimasai, it is Kitide Nebo. Kikuyu tuehamwe, Kimike Pakaenge.
The rest of them are
in
not
the Luo,
parliamentary languages.
one
proceed in the original language.
Kanyachel. It is a party that have brought all Kenyans together. And when our president speaks of a united and unifying country, he actually means and practices it. Unless our competitors, whose slogans are slogans that we cannot understand, whose slogans are slogans that we can say they are incantation, because Tibim Tialala is not understood in our languages. It may be that our fellow citizens are being recruited into a very dangerous cult. We don't know unless they explain the meaning of these words. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to state that it is very unfortunate that members from NASA have been boycotting this House, and they have been elected, and they will be paid by taxpayers' money to be in Parliament. And now instead of coming to Parliament, they are going to Kibera, into another Kamkunji kind of Parliament, which we don't understand, and they are being remote controlled by fellows that are not members of Parliament. They are just principals of I don't know, high schools or whatever they call themselves. They are being remote controlled. An unfortunate thing is that every day they are here, loitering around this place, signing so that we don't evoke the rule that 8 consecutive attendance. If you don't attend, then the seat is declared vacant. Or sometimes because the food here is a bit cheaper. That is why during lunchtime, we see them loitering around. They should actually represent their electorate. But I want to assure, as the member from Girgil have said, that they are totally represented in this House, because this House and the Jubilee Party have a representation across the 47 counties, also have a representation from all genders. Both genders have a representation of persons with disability, have a representation of youth. We have the youngest member of Parliament in here, 23 years. So let them not worry at all.
Member for Ainamoi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to start by thanking the Almighty God for seeing us through to this far. The other day, after the President's speech, as we were working out, we were catching up with my colleagues. Most of them, it's their first time in Parliament. And we are trying to ask ourselves what it really takes for one to be in Parliament. And we agreed in totality that it takes the hand of God. In fact, to quote one of my colleagues, he said, "Ni Mungu tu." Before I proceed, my names are Silvanus Maritim from my Namoi constituency, Kericho County. Let me thank sincerely the people of Ainamoi for giving me an opportunity to represent them for the next 5 years. I want to assure them that I'll set my best foot forward to represent them. Number 2, congratulations are in order for my colleagues and Mr. Speaker, sir. Going straight to the President's speech, I applaud him having recognized the young and the youth in various leadership positions, both elective and on various appointments. It is indeed inspiring to have a president who not only recognizes the role of youth, but giving them an opportunity to serve the nation. I know we are living inspirations to 1,000 of youths, and I want to assure them that we are not going to disappoint you. If anything, we are going to mentor you. We will set records straight. It will go into records that youths in this Parliament have done their best to uplift and set the best examples. Number 2, the President mentioned about peace and stability. If there is anything that is going to drive us forward, it's nothing else but peace. Much as we are going into campaigns, I also emphasize that we do it peacefully. Let us maintain peace. However, I expected the President to touch and dwell on farming, particularly tea farmers, where I largely represent. There's been an issue of fluctuating tea prices and the bonuses. We expected that he was going to mention something about it, but all is not lost. To the tea farmers, we are going to use all our available forums. We are going to work together with the relevant ministries, including research officers known to us and even international researchers, so that we just ensure that you not only get the best price, but we get maximum production from our farms. Before I sit down, I will also want to, in contrast, compare the speech of the president and what one of the elders here said yesterday. He referred to this honorable house as a group, as a Jubilee parliamentary group, which is quite regrettable. To me, some of these elders are people we've been looking up to, and they are misguiding the public. In fact, if they are honest that this house is not, is unconstitutional, I expect them that come the end of this month, they are not going to get their salaries if they mean well for their people. If they feel that we are not doing what is right, we really expect them that they will forego their salaries. Otherwise, as I sit down, I wish to wish all the members all the best as we represent the people of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Member for Isiolo North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I'm Honorable Hassan Hulufo from Isiolo North. I would like to start by thanking people of Isiolo North for giving me opportunity to represent them in this August House. As earlier speakers have said, it's not easy to make it to this House. I tried in 2013, wasn't successful, but I kept on putting more efforts. And out of 8 people, 6 very able and competent men and a lady, they had confidence in me and my ability to represent them. I thank them for that. And I would like also to thank Honorable Speaker and the Deputy for being elected to guide this House for the next 5 years. And I would like also to thank those who have had opportunity to be elected to lead us in the majority party, starting with the leader of supermajority, because now we have supermajority, Honorable Duale, the Chief Whip, his Deputy Chief Whip and Deputy Chief Whip. And then coming back to the President's speech, I would like to say that any man or woman in position where His Excellency is today would not have found it easy to give the kind of speech which His Excellency gave us. It was full of wisdom. He showed that he's a courageous man. Of course, in his first term, he created history by being the first sitting president to honor summons of a foreign court. He knew he was innocent, but he agreed to honor summons from International Criminal Court. At the end of the day, I think it was very clear to everybody that the case was built on quicksand and he was acquitted. And even this time, when Kenyans voted on 8th of August, 2017, we normally say numbers don't lie. He was voted with overwhelming numbers. And I'm sure in as much as we respect the verdict of the Supreme Court, the court, unless maybe they tell us something different, in the detailed ruling, they did mention only matters of procedure on how the 34, I don't know whether it is A, B, or C, were being transmitted to the tallying center in Nairobi. But they didn't dispute the numbers which he garnered. I'm very sure come 17th of October, he will even have more numbers. Coming to his speech, the content of the speech, it was very impressive, especially the aspect of peace and the need to unite our people, the aspect of also respecting the rule of law, which he has demonstrated. In as much as he didn't agree with the ruling, he had to agree with what the court decided. And what I would like to call upon the rest of the members is to kindly go out there, ensure that we vote him back with even more overwhelming numbers to put this matter beyond any reasonable doubt. The only thing which I expected in the speech, and probably I didn't hear, which I'm sure as representative of people, we are going to take up with the ministers and the rest, is the issue of drought, which is affecting our people. But as people's representatives, we are engaging the CSS and the PSS and the directors of various state corporations, and our people who are listening to us should worry less, because on matters of drought, a very competent interministerial team has been put in place. As their representatives, we are working with them, and we are going to make sure that we are going to save lives and livelihoods of our people. Thank you very much.
Member from Balambala. Just wait a minute. You are okay now?
Bismillah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Abdi Omar Shurie, MP, Balambala. First of all, I'd like to thank the Almighty God for giving us the opportunity to serve in this house. I also wish to appreciate the good people of Balambala for electing me as their representative in this house. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also wish to congratulate my colleagues for their victories. On the presidential speech, I'd like to applaud His Excellency, President Uhuru Kenyatta, for preaching peace. Since the outcome of the Supreme Court, he's been consistent on peace. And I think it's very important, because without peace, we will not have a nation or a country. What I would have wished the President to add into his speech was the issue of the drought, which my area is experiencing. The state organs to urgently intervene and help us help our people so that we alleviate the suffering that they're undergoing. And I appreciate my colleagues from Northern Kenya for everyone who stands up, keeps on talking about the drought, and it's affecting all of us. And I hope the state organs will take that matter seriously and come in and support us. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Nandi. Just a minute, you will, yeah, you have it now. You have it now. Proceed.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to take this opportunity to thank the people of Nandi for overwhelmingly supporting me, and that's why I'm here with 247 votes. I want to thank God for enabling me make it to this house. On the presidential speech, I want to say the following. I want to applaud him for celebrating the women of Kenya who made it to this political arena, in particular, the 3 governors, 3 senators, and 16 MPs, 23 MPs, and MCAs. What I'm happy about is said, he highlighted the gains made in promoting inclusion of women in elected office, and I want to say we can achieve much if we can break the class ceiling. What we are going to do, or what I call upon the governors, to award the women the 1/3 gender rule and tenders, and to award the youth the 1/3 tender so that they can make it in life, they can improve their lives by going back to school, and we can have more of them in the near future. So I want also to congratulate him for congratulating the youth of Kenya. We know majority of them are in this August House, and majority of them are in the counties. What I'm impressed most is when he talked about the peace in our land. He said he will not allow anybody to mess with the prevailing peace in Kenya. So I know as we go to the elections, we are going to have a peaceful election, and our president is coming back. Thank you.
Yes, is that the gentleman, the honorable member of Jichopevu fame? You have the floor. And probably you should address the House in Kiswahili. But proceed anyway.
Okay, thank you. Mheshimiwa Spika, awali ya yote naomba kutumia fursa hii kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu mwenye mwingi wa rehema kwa kutujalia afya njema na kutufikisha siku ya leo. Mwenyezi Mungu ameendelea kuitikia dua ya kuliombea bunge hili kwa kutuongezea hekima na maono kwa ajili ya kuwatumikia Wakenya. Bwana Spika, nachukua fursa hii pia kukushukuru wewe binafsi, naibu spika, wenye viti wa bunge pamoja na wabunge wote kwa uteuzi wao. Mingairi na hayo, nachukua fursa hii pia kuwapongeza na kuwashukuru wananyali kwa kuamua kwenda kinyume na itikadi za siasa chafu za pesa, vyama na ukabila, na badala yake kunichagua mimi kama mgombea huru katika eneo bunge la Nyali. Nawapongeza pia Wakenya wote waliojitolea na kuchangia katika mkoba wangu wa kampeni pamoja na ushauri walionipa. Sina la kuwapa, ila nawaahidi kuwa nitazidi kuwapigania na kuwakilisha sauti zao katika bunge hili la 12. Kwa ufupi nasema Mungu awabariki wote kwa kuamini kuwa hakuna lisilowezekana mbele ya macho ya Mungu. Fauka na hayo, Bwana Spika, naomba hili bunge la 12 liwe kielelezo na tofauti kabisa na bunge za hapo awali kwa kujadili na kupasisha misaada itakayowakinga wa Kenya dhidi ya udhalimu, ukiukaji wa haki za binadamu, ufisadi na mambo mengine ya kuchukiza. Bwana Spika, mengi yalitajwa wakati wa hotuba ya rais, huku kukiwa na matumaini ya mambo kuwa sawa katika siku za usoni. Nchi inayoongozwa na demokrasia hufanya mambo yake kidemokrasia. Nchi inayoongozwa na demokrasia ya kijambazi hubaka demokrasia ya wananchi wa taifa hilo na kuwakandamiza. Ni matumaini yangu kuwa sote tutakuwa mamoja pasi na misingi ya dini, kabila, rangi au vyama, kuilinda katiba na taifa letu nzuri. Letu kuu kama viongozi waliochaguliwa na Wakenya ni kuhakikisha kuwa safari hii hatutazalisha tena umaskini. Tuhakikisheni kuwa kupitia sura hizi ninazoziona bungeni, sura za wabunge, maprofesa, wanahabari, madaktari, wahandisi, miongoni mwa wengine wengi, tutashikamana na kujenga Kenya kwa kutumia taaluma zetu na wala sio kuwa vibaraka wa kuabudu miungu binadamu. Kwa ufupi, Bwana Spika, nasema tusikubali akili ndogo kutawala akili kubwa. Bwana Spika, licha ya hoja zote zilizotajwa majuzi na rais, hoja za Kenya na Ukenya ndani yetu, ningelipenda pia kuchukua fursa hii kuomba bunge hili chini ya uangalizi wako katika siku za usoni kuwa makini na kutunga sheria kali dhidi ya walanguzi wa dawa za kulevya. Hakika sisi wa Pwani tumeathirika pakubwa na watu wachache wanaojipiga kifua na kujiona kama miungu midogo, huku wakiangamiza kizazi chetu. Safari hii tuna ujumbe kwa walanguzi wa dawa za kulevya Pwani. Tunasema kama noma na iwe noma. Wakenya wote ni mashahidi kwamba vijana wetu wengi wameendelea kudhoofisha afya zao kutokana na matumizi ya dawa za kulevya. Dawa za kulevya ni hatari sana kwa usalama wa ustawi wa taifa letu. Vita hivi ni vita vikubwa dhidi ya uagizaji, uzalishaji, usambazaji na matumizi ya dawa za kulevya. Sote tunapaswa kuunga mkono jitihada hizi. Bwana Spika, nikimalizia nihitimishe hotuba yangu kwa kuwaombea waheshimiwa wabunge wenza pamoja na Wakenya wote waliotutuma katika bunge hili kama watumishi na wala sio waheshimiwa. Mwenyezi Mungu atujalie sote nasiha njema katika kipindi chote tutakachokuwa mashinani kuwatumikia Wakenya waliochagua kwa kuchukua maoni yao na kuwakilisha ipasavyo katika bunge hili la 12. Mungu ibariki Kenya.
That the honorable member for Nyeri Town is interested in speaking. Is that Nyeri Town? Othaya, sorry. Othaya. Yes. The member for Othaya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First is to thank the Almighty for giving Kenyans the wisdom to elect the kind of great men and women we have in this house. Two, I'll also want to thank Othaya people for electing me to represent them in the 12th House. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to congratulate His Excellency the President on his great speech that he delivered to this House. Mr. Speaker, sir, he did emphasize the importance of continuing to promote the youth. Today we know our great problem in this country is lack of job opportunities for our youth. But our youth will not get job opportunities, will not be empowered through street protests. They will not be empowered through incitement, and they will not be empowered through divisive politics. It's the reason we all have to rise up and support our president when he preaches unity in this country. It's the reason this House must rise and say no to divisive politics of tribalism, divisive politics of always going to the streets, because this will mess this country and will not help our youth. It is very sad anybody who purports to lead this country to know that this country cannot go forward with that kind of politics. Mr. Speaker, sir, what we know in this country is that during politics, we have people called aspirants and contestants. And we don't put our 19 million Kenyans who are registered voters to contest. What we have is leaders who contest. And when the elections are over, it is not the 6 million who are defeated. It is not. What we have is the 15 million who voted. When they vote and we have one leader winning as a president, that president is for the whole country. It's not for a few. And the person who loses, he loses alone. It is not the 16 million Kenyans who lose. And we should stop misleading Kenyans in politics. Mr. Speaker, sir, we need to call upon our colleagues from the opposition to rise to this occasion and know that they have been elected by their constituents to represent them and to join other Kenyans in developing this country. The agenda for our Jubilee Party is a very strong agenda, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is a strong agenda because the free high school education or secondary education is not for Jubilee zones. It is for the whole country. Mr. Speaker, sir, the cash transfers to our elderly people, it is not for the Jubilee supporters. It is for all Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, sir. And we all feel the pain when somebody goes out there to mislead Kenyans. I call upon all Kenyans, that to rise up on 17th and confirm that this country requires a uniting leader.
There are many men and women out there who are working very hard, day and night, to ensure that we have peace in this country. I remember those days when I would visit a place called Todonyang in Turkana, find some police, men and women there, who would occasionally be invaded by Merides from Ethiopia, or in the name of securing peace for our country. I do know that we have men and women in Laskaboni who are not sleeping to ensure that we have peace in this country. And when I see ourselves here in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, sir, rushing to Kibera and other places, vomiting words that suggest that our country is in trouble, our country is at war, I feel, or rather I feel it, Mr. Speaker, sir, because I know that the peace that we have in this country is not being enjoyed by other countries that surround us. It is unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, sir, that our colleagues are not here with us today to first and foremost know that in these 12th House, some serious minds have come in, and we mean business, that we need peace in this country, and we are not going to sleep until we shut up those that want to interrupt peace in this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, our president dwelt a lot on this peace, and I want to congratulate him for singling it out, that we need peace in this country, that unless all of us uphold peace, then this country will lose all the gains that we have had over time. I really feel for my constituency, Mr. Speaker, sir, that is just about to enjoy some fruits of the good leadership by our president, after having waited for so long to have what is known as River Dam, which will provide irrigation water for the people of Mwea to be able to produce more rice that will be able to feed this country by over 70%. Mr. Speaker, I really feel.
Very well. I will give the member who is next to member for Mbalambala. Yes. That is you now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Mahmoud Sheikh Mohammed of Wajir South. I want to thank you for the opportunity. I want to thank Allah the Almighty who has given me this opportunity to be here in this August House of the 12th Parliament. I want to also thank my constituents who have overwhelmingly decided that I be their leader in this 12th Parliament. It is obviously an important note that their decision was one of decisive manner. Now, I also want to thank the President for the speech that he has given based on observing the laws of the land and accepting the decision of the Supreme Court, and for acknowledging that the decision of the laws of the land is what stands. However, it is also important to note that the decision does not necessarily mean that that the decision on the 17th of October, the same decision, will be made loud and clear. It is also important to note that as the custodian of the law of the land, the President has acknowledged that this country has decided to ensure that the election was one that considered every person in this country, despite the creed, color, and gender. And therefore, those are some of the most important things that the President has touched on, and we do concur with that. What is also important for me to say today is that the people of Wajir South, as much as the people of the North, are facing considerable amount of drought that has bedeviled the society for over 20 years and has costed many lives, livestock, and many other livelihoods. And therefore, it is important that our countrymen and women gather together in prayers, in preparations, and in support of those communities that face that. Mr. Speaker, it is quite painful that for many of our livestock that have passed on, and for many of our society that have moved across borders in search of pasture and water, are still remaining out of the country, and for them to come back, it is important that this country mitigates a plan for them to come and live back in their country for the purpose of their livelihood within the borders. On a light note, as my predecessor from Mwea has put it, that he might be coming with some basmati or rice in this place for trade, I might be walking some cows into the chamber on that matter. That is a light note for this, as we are livestock herders anyway. We feed the country with meat, and therefore we need to support those communities that are herders as well on this occasion on trade and other livelihood. With those light notes, I want to thank again the Speaker for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
All right, now, let me give the Honorable Lady at the very farthest end of the chamber. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this
Introduce
opportunity.
yourself, please.
My name is Anne Wanjiko Kibe. I'm the Member of Parliament, Gatundu North. And first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank God for giving me this opportunity to be here. When I was a young girl, I used to dream to be in Parliament. And just like Lupita Nyong'o said, everyone's dreams are valid. I do agree that my dreams are also valid because I found myself here. I also want to thank the good people of Gatundu North for finding favor in me to give me this opportunity to serve them. I feel greatly honored for that. Looking at the President's speech, I want to say that personally, I feel the President's speech was inspiring, and I was very happy with his acknowledgement that we now have more women leaders in this 12 parliaments. It is never easy to have a woman elected, and the fact that we are able as a party, especially as Jubilee Party, to have over 15 women elected to this 12 parliament, that I see is a great honor. I thank His Excellency the President because he also acknowledged the need to continuously include women in leadership and once again on the 17th of next month, I believe we were going to see more of inclusivity of women in the government. On the same breath, he also acknowledged the election of youth and young leaders in this assembly, which is really a good thing. We are no longer saying that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. We are saying they are the leaders today, and that, of course, has been confirmed by their election in this House. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me also to highlight and acknowledge what the President said about the involvement of 11th Parliament in ensuring that devolution works. And I am one of the firstborns, the many firstborns of devolution, having worked as a nominated MCA in the County Assembly of Kiambu. And I thank the 11th Parliament for the role they played. However, I feel as an assembly in the 12th Parliament, that our work is well cut out. And we must really work very hard to ensure that devolution works. I'm a believer that devolution is the future of Kenya. And my heart is heavy at this time, Mr. Speaker, sir, because we have our nurses on strike. We know the role that the nurses play. We have our patients suffering in the various hospitals. And I want to use this opportunity to kindly ask the Council of Governors and the leaders, the nurses and their leaders, to find an amicable solution so that we can have them back to work. Mr. Speaker, sir, we know very well the work that devolution has done. We've had hospitals in places we've never had hospitals in the over 50 years of independence. We see our people having hope, and it is my belief that this Parliament will help and support devolution. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you very much. And I want to say, just like one man, William Arthur, said that...
No members will be allowed to stand while the other colleague is addressing the chamber.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. That's disrespectful, I believe. I want to say, just like one man, William Arthur, said, that the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, The superior teacher demonstrates, but the great teacher inspires. This president inspired this house. The president inspired this country. Thank you very much.
Honorable KJ.
Mr. Speaker, sir, it's a great honor to stand on the floor of this house and address this house with my maiden speech, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Waweru John KJ Kiarie, the elected member of Parliament from the Dagoretti South constituency, and I will take this very early opportunity to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, for being elected unopposed as the Deputy Speaker of this House, and take this opportunity to also congratulate the Honorable Justin Bedan Muturi for being elected the Speaker, and we are depending on your wisdom and guidance. I want to take this opportunity to also congratulate my majority leader, the one and only Honorable Eden Duale, and to him I wanted to go on record that I said, Iskawarama, and so do other to Bunge once again. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate Omwami Ben Washali, the Honorable Member of Parliament, for being selected the Chief Whip of my jubilated coalition. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to also take this opportunity to congratulate each and every sitting member of this House. And I'm hastily referred to the wise words in the good book, in the book of John, chapter 6, verse 13, going on, where after watching the feet of the disciples, our great teacher and leader and Lord and Savior said that, verily, I say unto you, that no servant is ever greater than their master, and no messenger is greater than their sender. And now that you know this, you shall be blessed if you do well to serve your people. I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to the people of the Dagoretti South constituency, who in this season decided that kweli rada ni safi na Mungu mbele. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that I acknowledge that we that sit here do stand great because we stand on the shoulders of great people that went before us. And for the Dagoretti South constituency, I want to pay a special tribute to great leaders that went before me, even before the independence of this country. The great and immortal Waiyaki Wahinga, the great Chief Kenyanjui Wagathirimo, and members of Parliament that have served here before me. I want to say a special thank you for your contribution in the development of the Dagoretti South. Thank you, Honorable Dr. Mongai. Thank you, Honorable Kahinde. Thank you, Honorable Mudhiora. Thank you very much, the Honorable Clement Kashanja. Thank you very much, the Honorable Chris Kamoyo. Thank you very much, the Honorable Beth Wamboi Mogo. And more recently, the Honorable Dennis Kariuki Waweru. We thank you for your great contribution. To the people of the Dagoretti South constituency who have given me this opportunity, I want to say, as the great Gikoyo says, that together we shall be able to provide the greatest good for the greatest number of people in the Dagoretti South constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I shall now concern myself with the issue at hand, and that is the presidential speech. And I shall take just one moment to say that by the very act of addressing this 12th Parliament, Mr. Speaker, sir, the President was able to prove to this country that business has to continue, that our children have to go to school, our farmers have to till the land, our traders and business people have to transact the business of this country, and we, the people of this House, have to continue passing laws. And I want to say that by that very act, the President did prove that even with the presidential re-election campaign, Kenya can chew gum and scale the stairs at the same time. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me this last minute to just say a very special thank you to my family, to Wangoi Kiarie, the beautiful woman who is my rock and my strength, and the mother of my 3 children. I say thank you. To my brothers, 7 of them, the sons of my father and mothers, I say thank you. To my 2 mothers, the mother who gave birth to me, Hannah Ndindi Motiso, and the mother who brought me up, Rosemary Nyendo Juguna, I say thank you. And finally, I want to say a special thank you to my father, my mentor, my dad, my sage, and my teacher, and former member of this house, Honorable David Waweru. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, sir, I seek to retreat now. I shall have the opportunity to say much more in the 5 years that I have been given by the people of Dagoretti South constituency. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Well, that was real poetry. Now, I am trying to balance. I know I have typed many counties. I'm trying to look at the county which I have not typed. And it has to be, I can see, I can't know all of them. Now, let's see. Baringo, I think. Did I touch Baringo anywhere? Then that is the member for Mogotio. Honorable members, you'll all speak. In fact, I realize we might be having about 30 members, so don't be patient. You will definitely have your say.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is Dr. Daniel Tuitoeg from Mogotio constituency. I would like to thank God for giving me this opportunity to be in this August House and being elected by the people of Mogotio to serve in this House for the next 5 years. I would also like to congratulate you and the Speaker for being elected to serve us for this coming 5 years. I'd also like to recognize and congratulate my fellow members of Parliament for being elected to serve for the next 5 years. Now, to touch on the President's speech, I think we would like to note that the President was humble enough to note that the supremacy of the law is to be emphasized in this nation. He noted that he himself has personally committed to observe the law. He was summoned to a foreign court. The Supreme Court ruled against him. Although he disagreed with the ruling, he actually agreed or accepted to move on. I'd like to say that in order that there's been a constant consultation between the legislature and the executive, which has actually brought a lot of production in this nation, especially in the area of devolution and other areas. I just wanted to say that in the last election, to me, the last election was one of the best, because personally I had earlier stood for election and always we had problems with the IBC. But this time the IBC did their best, in spite of the fact that when the ruling came against the president, some of us were taken aback. There was a lot of emphasis on the technology aspect of the election, and yet we all know that in this particular election, what was used to declare all of us winners was really a manual election. It was a manual results which Wanjiku had already decided at the polling station. To nullify the election for the president, to me, was really a miscarriage of justice, because it was not a technology which should have been considered. It was not a process of transmission which should have really counted, but the vote of Wanjiku, which she actually delivered at the polling station. In this address, he also touched on other aspects of the economy, the importance of the youth, the importance of women being included in the decision-making mechanism. For me, I think it is very important that in this coming session, we look at the welfare of our people. In Mogotio, one of the major issues we are facing is lack of water. I hope in this coming session, we'll be able to address, we'll be able to assist in the issues of provision of water, especially in the semi-arid and arid areas. Mogotu is an area which is both largely semi-arid, and therefore the issue of water is very important. Also, the issue of youth and women empowerment is another area which my constituents wants me to address, and therefore, in the coming 5 years, I'll hope I'll be able to assist in that particular direction. Concerning our fellow opposition members of parliament, they seem not to be really assisting their members. When they say the president is not legally in place, to me, they are actually going against the constitution. If you look at the constitution very clearly, it actually says there'll be no laguna, or there'll be no a state when we have no president. And therefore, it's very clear that the president is legally in place, even when after the Supreme Court nullified, he still all has the powers to constitute parliament, and therefore I want to wish them to come and represent their people in this August House. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I'll be in the coming days continue to deliberate and participate fully in the deliberation of this House. Thank you.
Member for Kangema. Honorable member for Kangema is one of the
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
more experienced members in terms of age. Sometimes we deliberately
also
give them an opportunity to speak. Proceed, don't you worry. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for indulging me. He did give me the opportunity because I have an appointment with a doctor. I also joined my colleagues in congratulating you for your appointment. I also congratulate my colleagues for the great honor that has been bestowed on us by the Kenyan people. Mr. Speaker, it's very hard now to open a maiden speech when we have a divided side that thinks that belittling His Excellency the President gives them honor. Mr. Speaker, in the present prevailing circumstances, there is no vacuum in the position of President. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 142 spells clearly that the President remains a substantive President from 2013 to 17th through 17th of October, when he is re-elected, until the day he is sworn in. So that occasion, Mr.